A few moments later.
Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I will be doing the rear hatch weather stripping on my 89 Corvette. Now this weather stripping is 84 through 96. It is all C4 coupes. So the first thing we have to do is remove all of the rear trim. I'm using a number 2 screwdriver for this. Do not be surprised if you run into some cracked pieces of plastic while you're doing this. Next, we're going to just pop off the handle to the latch. This is the latch for securing your roof in when you're using the rear storage area. Now this center trim piece is somewhat held into place by the sides, so you have to be very careful and manipulate it out. And there you go. Now I'm using a plastic pry tool to remove the side courtesy lights. I'm using something somewhat wide. I would recommend using something with a lot of surface area to not damage the plastic. And there we go, it popped up. So this is also how you would replace the light bulb if you had a burnt out light. So now with a really small screwdriver, I'm using a small screwdriver because I needed something really thin. There's a little plastic tab right there on top. Push it down and you can pull out the housing. Behind that housing is a hidden screw, and of course, some cracked plastic. All right, we're going to remove that screw. Now we need to remove the struts. These are held on with little spring steel ring. I'm using a really small screwdriver to pry it up. I would recommend taking this completely off versus rather just popping it up enough to remove the strut. So here's my trick for reinserting this tab. I use needle nose pliers to spread it open, and I can slip it over the strut. Remove the connector, the electrical connector. I'll show you a little better on the other side how this whole process works. So yep, just manipulate it out. I like to just hold the strut straight back. Some people have different methods of doing this. So here we go. I'm gonna one-shot this. I'm gonna pry the cover up with my pry tool. I chose to remove the bulb. You do not have to. I chose to. Now press down on the tab to pull out the housing. The light bulb wiring harness, it's just twisted in. So it's just a twist. It locks into place like any other light on these cars. Now here's the hidden screw. And go ahead and remove all the screws that you can. You don't have to remove the inside plastic on the halo, but you do want to remove the screws, and that's going to give you just a little extra wiggle room to manipulate the sides out, and you'll see. Now on this clip, I didn't actually remove the entire clip. I pulled it out enough to slip the strut off. And what happened is the clip snapped back on, and it was much more difficult to get the clip off with the strut not being fastened to the car. So I would just recommend taking the clips completely off. Plus they could shoot off and you could lose it. So here we go. We're just very carefully, we're gonna just manipulate this out of position. There are not very many tools for this job. A couple pry tools, small screwdriver, a number 2 Phillips, and needle nose pliers. Here I'm just removing the last of the original weather stripping. Now if you notice, there is a lot of tan grease underneath the weather stripping. I would leave as much of that on there as you can. I would not, when you clean and prep for the new install, I would not wipe that off. I would leave that on there. Now here, across the halo, is 2 rubber beads. The one on the left is the weather strip. That's the one you want to remove. The one on the right is for the interior plastic. You want to leave that alone. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what we have. This looks fairly normal. Now we're getting into some glue, and it looks like some clear silicone and some more glue. So somebody has been in here in the past. Do not be surprised. You could more than likely see something crazy. And again, like I said, I would leave all of the tan grease on the car. GM put that there for a reason. Now do whatever cleanup you need to whatever level you're satisfied with. I'm just gonna scrape off all the silicone and the hard adhesives. I'm going to leave all the tan grease. All right, now to reinstall, I realize I'm starting with the top center, but that is not my focus. I am only fastening it on the top center because I'm doing this install myself, so I needed it supported. My main focus are the 2 corners. So the top center is secured just to help me do this with one person. So I'm gonna put the 2 corners in, and then I'm going to center it and remove any slack. If you have 2 people doing this, you can just start at the corners and work your way to the middle. If you're doing it yourself, I would suggest fastening it on the top just to help you. Now I'm just manipulating it into place. expect to do a lot of massaging of the rubber here. So you have to stick the bead on the lip and get everything in the right position. What you don't see is I covered the entire weather stripping in a grease. And I did this to help with the install, and I also did this because it's great to protect the rubber, and I use Napa's Sil Glide. So I covered the entire thing, and that's going to help me with the install, and it's going to protect, it's going to be my first step in protecting the weather stripping. Here we go, I'm just laying everything into place. Again, the whole focus is the two corners. You want to center everything after you have the two corners firmly in place. Go back in and massage everything until you're satisfied. And don't forget to check the top when you're all done. All right, everything is all buttoned up. It went together great. The fit of this Corvette Rubber Company rear hatch was amazing. I could not be happier with how well it fit. Thanks for watching.